So during this break, I have had two things asked, which I would like to clarify a little bit more before we go in deeper into how to use the web page better. Okay, so I have had two questions asked, mostly number one, what platform do I have to use to trade? If I'm using this platform, do I have to trade on this? No, just a clarification. You do not trade on this platform. You just use this platform to get information.
So it's a web-based.
It's a web-based platform.
So where did you host this? Just out of curiosity.
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
And
So
so you actually have the underlying, whatever they call their
databases, AI engines, databases. Yes, Amazon. So I pay Amazon, and that's why I own their stock, just to make sure that it offsets a little bit. So that's one of the very few stocks that I own. Just because I hate to pay them every month, and it keeps adding up. So you do not trade on the platform. This platform only tells you what's a possible good trade to make. You use whatever ideas. Right. Only ideas. You use those ideas to make trades on any platform of your choice, whether it's Ameritrade or Fidelity or Interactive Brokers or your own dealership, whatever. I use Robinhood. I like it. I use Interactive Brokers as well for all the complex trades that I make, following your strategy. Because Robinhood does not have very nice profit and loss graphs for complex strategies. So if buying calls, it's okay. But if you're doing golden goose or if you're doing butterflies, it makes sense to use something which tells you how the profit and loss is going to look like. So I use.
So they don't have a risk profile?
No, not yet. So, but IB works well for me.
You also have done a lot of work in AI. I know you're doing it. You work at TI, but usually there's some pretty good underlying references and stuff on AI and how to apply it and stuff. Have you got any suggested references in those areas that might be good?
In terms of trying to learn how to program AI or trying to understand what AI is? These are two different questions.
I have an AI
With
background.
kids.
Okay.
So I'm just
Usually we're
looking for more modern books than some of the old stuff that I have. Python's got a lot of questions.
I'll forward you something. Let's talk about after this meeting, and I'll give you some stuff.
We're going to run out of time, guys.
Okay.
We need to pick it up.
So we go
We need to
quick
get
now.
out of here around noon to 12:15.
So we have about 30
Okay.
minutes.
45 minutes, because there's a lot of good meat here.
Yeah, and you got a long way to go. So hold your questions and maybe
Go to a bar.
talk to him. Yeah, go to Starbucks.
How fast I saw the video.
Okay. All right, guys. So we go to the next piece of the puzzle. Okay. By the way, just one more thing. I think we had a question from the audience that if I don't know rat about options, what do I do? I think you should talk to Mo and Russ. Number one. It'll be a journey if you don't know about options to understand how they work. But buying calls or buying puts is way easier than going for complex strategies. If you are going for like a simple stuff, just view these videos. There are 2 or 3 videos that I put together in this section on the web page because some of my other subscriber had this issue. So if you click Learning Center Tutorials, you get to this and you get these videos. These are 5 minutes each and you will get to hear my voice again. And that's it.
I was talking to somebody else, and maybe this could apply, maybe for people that aren't interested in options, right? Still, like you said, this is an idealist. So if it says Walgreens is a call option that they should buy, I mean, they can convert in their mind or whatever to owning the stock, right? And
Yes.
bring their own targets on that in terms of
Yes.
of $1 or 50 cents, wherever they can take it.
They can.
So that's one other way for people that don't do options, how they can.
They can do that. The only thing I would just do I don't do the math assuming that you'll buy the stock.
Exactly. I'm definitely they have to do their
You're totally on your own at that point. Okay, so move on. Investment settings. This is the most interesting part. I love that because this helps you customize the stuff, and that'll try and answer why your page doesn't matter the page that I have. So, not many things here. The first setting is what is the target. Okay, I won't highlight that. What is the target profit per trade you are going for? and this is called profit target setting. You can customize it. Right now, it is defaulted to 25%, which is here. And that is one reason why when you sign up, you'll not exactly see this one. But you should change it because 25% is too less. Let's look at the impact of making this change. So right now 50%, and let's open one page right here. So you open this, and we will keep this as a reference because we have worked on this all through the day. So 133 and 33 and 162. So now let's go to investments link. Let's open it here. And so now let's change that setting. So we know what setting 50% is right now. Let's change it to 100% just for giggles. What does that mean first? That means that if I put in $100 into a trade, I will not come out of it unless I have made 200. Clear? No confusion. Okay? So then what happens? Let's open the same page again. We keep this. And let's go to swing boost, which is where we were. Okay. So, see what happens. So I'll flip through these. So this was the status when our profit setting was 50%. This is the status when our profit setting is 100%. What's the difference? Number one, you should notice 256 versus 162. So your expected gains jump. Okay? Your win ratio goes down naturally, right? So 68% goes down to 57%. It goes down, but it doesn't go down drastically or catastrophically. So what does that mean? That the total amount of money that you make if you are playing big in the same last 1.5 years period is roughly 341,000 if your profit setting is 100% versus 220. So if you have to choose one setting, okay, to move left or right on your profitometer, that's the setting. What's the trade-off? Number one, you may need to buy a pacemaker. Pacemaker. Because you don't win as often. Okay? Mostly you will be tortured. If you are really following your portfolio very often, you will be tortured. So don't do that. I don't follow my portfolio. I look at it once a day because I have to make the trades, otherwise I won't even do it for once a day and forget about it. Because all those gains that you have not realized are on paper, or losses for that matter. So you don't win as often, but more importantly, it takes more time for the trades to give you the money you are looking for. Number three, your initial investment goes up because if you're going for 100% and the first 40 trades that you make, you will not have as many 100%ers as you will have 50%ers, which would mean that you will not get the profit sooner, which would mean that your initial portfolio has to be bigger. Okay? So now in your mind, I think you can do the math. That start with something which is 50%, and then when you have made some money, go to 75, go to 100. Don't take big risks. Bottom line. If you have the money, take big risks. And it should be okay. The second setting that we are going to talk about. So, by the way, any question on this one? The profit setting?
Subscription price. There's something there with subscription.
Okay, yes, that was the third question. I was wondering, there was a question about that. So it's free. Short answer.
No.
And the reason it is free is I just hate subscription models. I don't pay subscription to anybody. That's where the Amazon thing comes in. I'm paying subscription and I just hate it. But you can't do without it. So I don't like subscription models, and that's why it's free. And I'm trying to see what's the right business model for it going forward. Whether it's creating collaboration with a brokerage, for example, one possibility. Or whether to convert this to a hedge fund, and the possibility, but no subscription.
So should we fill that out in order to get the service that's selected under subscription?
It's just start free trial.
Start a free trial.
But
So-
it expires in 20-something.
So if you come to your web, this setting thing, right? Yeah, you saw
And
that.
then 2025.
So your free trial and so
You
on.
got a couple of years to go.
Yeah, you have a couple of years to go.
Yeah, before you worry about it.
So it is there right now. So that was the other question that came up. So right now it's free. I intend to keep it free for very long, probably as infinitely.
Question about your setting of target profit. Does that change your selection of what
No.
call to buy? You're just changing the targets.
I'm just trying. Yes,
The
when to
information
set.
is still the same
Information is still the same. We're just changing the target setting.
when you want to like get out.
But it's a very good question. I know it's a deep question because when AI is learning on past data versus when it starts to learn on live data, it can actually learn on that basis as well. You see what I'm saying? So at some point of time, I may have a strategy which takes care of that, but not right now. Going back to subscription, did I say it's free? Right, it's free. So it is. So no charges, and it's here. I am investing about 20-25K a year to make this run. And the reason I'm able to keep it free is because I am able to offset that with the trading gains I'm making. So it's 0-0, or slightly better than 0-0.
so much.
Yes, I forgot that. Yeah,
long as you don't sell our data.
and Mo should know that because his son works for TI.
And so, what are these things here subscribed to?
I'll go there in a moment. So that's down here. So no profit, no questions here. Let's move to the next setting quickly. Buy limit setting. Okay. So this is again when you log in. I think it's probably here at 4. You can it's 4. Okay. So you can move it to 5 or you can move it to 10. So let's see what happens if you move it to 10. Okay. So I moved it to 10, and let's go back to this page and kind of make it bigger, reload this. So what's the big difference you see? Lot more trades. Lot more trades, yeah. And just for comparison, I should change this back to 50% so that we are comparing apples to apples between two pages. So you get lot more trades, and your average profit per trade is 157 versus 160-ish. Okay, your win ratio is roughly the same. So you make a lot more money, clearly, because you make a lot more trades, 280K versus 210. So what's the trade-off? You have to track those trades, right? This is not very few trades. This is 700 trades over 400 days. Do the math. It's 4 trades a day, right? Of buying, and then you have to sell them. And this is just one strategy.
4 trades a day. 4 a day buying, and then you're selling 4. That means you bought
Some other
4 months
4.
ago.
Yes, so on an average it will be that. So it is trading. It is trading. Okay, so it's not. There are some strategies which optimize that, and I'll talk about which strategies to pick if you don't want to trade so much, right? And you don't want to be a millionaire in 6 months, which is very hard to do, impossible. Okay, because if you make so many trades, I'm sure you will make many mistakes. Okay, and you will not be able to have the quality of life that you're having right now. So don't do that unless I am able to automate that. So that's the impact of buy limit setting. Any question on this?
So what's your recommendation?
The buy limits,
We'll go there.
and the buy limits set, what is it again now? It's just,
How does it change the selections? Is the question?
well, what is it? It says buy limit.
How many
targets?
Okay. So what does it do? It basically, again, I'm really bad at names. Okay, honestly. I'll explain you what it does. What it does is the more right you go, the more riskier options it will pick. What does that mean? Higher implied volatility. It will start to pick those. The more left you are, the more conservative it will be. The AI will be in its pickings. So that's what it does, which means that options become more and more expensive as you move towards your right. So if I go here, I'll probably still not get Tesla, but I'll get Tilray or something like that. Okay.
So we can change it anytime and go and pick our option and show you those, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So more to the right is risky or more to the left?
Move to the right is risky. Right risky. RR. Easy to remember.
You can always go back and forth and see what your options are, what it is.
Yes. Okay. Now comes. Okay, let's save it. Okay. So now let's go to the third setting, which is target stop loss per trade. Okay, this is many questions on this, so this is kind of important. So let's change this to, first let's understand what this is. So target stop loss per trade 5%. That means you're willing to lose 95% of your money. Okay, you put in 100. If your setting is all the way to the left, you're going totally aggressive. Okay, I'm willing to lose 95% of my money. If this setting is at 20, which I just changed it to,
Then you're 80%.
then you are willing to lose 80% of your money. Or if you go 35, you are willing to lose 2/3 of your money. So what's the impact? So I changed it to 20. This is the impact. Let's play this. So we are back to 1,300 trades because the buy limit is back. But your average US dollar per profit has gone down from 160 to 140. So by going for a more aggressive stop loss, you actually in the long run lose money in this strategy. Okay, and I think there is an example that I had.
What is a good one? Like 20%? Or
Well, a good one for me is I put in money and forget about that. So I
It's gone
actually
below 20 anyways. Might as well be
yeah,
gone
it
the
might
whole
as
thing.
well go. Yeah,
I know, go to zero.
just all in, and there is a reason for that. And I'm searching for a slide here, which is
Pay fees to get out.
You have a selection that says optimal or suggested settings.
yes, I do, and I can't find that slide right now. Hopefully, got it. So it's here. So this is why it happens. Almost always, this is why it happens. So this is one of the trades. This is for discovery or something. So this trade came up on the platform in June. Buy date is June, about $2. Okay, and next thing you know, it's going down. And I think whenever I took the snapshot, probably the profit, the stop loss setting was 35. That's why when I lost 2/3 of the money, say the stop loss met, I didn't sell it. Okay, because I don't go for stop loss.
Does that mean that stock is skyrocketing? Right?
That's
That
what
means your options are.
That's what it means. So
valueless.
the stock kept going down, and about 20 days before expiry, it just shot up.
The stock itself is going down or the option is going down?
The
Stock is
option,
going-
the option going down is a function of stock going down and the time expiry. But this was a stock going down.
Oh.
The options don't go down so fast if the stock is stable, especially in their long term.
That's tracking the mark.
Right.
Okay.
That's tracking.
Okay. Which corresponds with the.
So you told us the analytics based on historic data. Now, are you also collecting, or is there a way to log in? Let's say I want to use one of the, let's say I signed up to the free trial, right? And I'm using your data every day, and I'm seeing success, failure, whatever it is. Do you have a way to capture that data from me? That
I will. That is one probable business model at some point. Right now, I'm not doing it. And in any case, I won't know what trades you're making. You see, because these are
I
two
can
totally
enter
different.
it, right?
You can choose to give me that data, right? And if you choose to give me that data, I will have that data. I have not even considered that. But yes, that's one probable business model. Okay, so going back to the web page again. The fourth setting here. The fourth setting is, so we played around with stop loss, and you can do that on your own. The fourth setting is what's the maximum investment that you are willing to make per trade. So this is $1,000. You can change it to 1,500, or you can change it, dial it all the way back to 250. So that's one way to control your number of trades and see what happens. So if you reduce it to 500, okay, You can still choose to make more than 500 investment, and I'll explain that in a moment. So see what happens. Number of trades went down. So 1,300 became 1,150. You can dial it down further. The other thing that happens is your average profit per trade went down to 75. Now why did that happen? Because you were only investing 500 bucks.
Yes.
Okay. So you can play around with that setting to see that what works for you. And there will be an optimal strategy setting coming in a bit. But this is one way for you to control the number of trades you're making. There are many different ways. You can use this strategy. You can use this setting, turn it down to 4%, the buy limit setting, and that will reduce your trades. You can reduce maximum investment per trade. Oh, $4. That's definitely there is a bug that we found right now. Okay, so you can change this to 250 or 1,000 or whatever. That is one way to do it. And then the key, actually the biggest impact is right here. So this setting, choose market cap range of the companies you want to invest in. So right now there are three options: mid cap, which is Nasdaq mid cap, 2 billion to 6 billion; large cap, which is 6 billion and above, and everything.
Can we pick all three, or you have to do one at a time?
If you want, well, there are only two actually. There's large cap and mid cap, and if you want to pick both, then you pick the third option: mid and large cap.
Oh, if you pick the third one,
You get
includes everything. Okay.
Right? So you're okay, I don't want to make so many trades. You are one of those buckets. So you change it to only large cap, the most liquid stocks, update the subscriptions, go back, and your number of trades will go down. Yeah.
Did you set the cap values, the large cap, mid cap yourself?
I basically download it from the market. And
Okay,
just
because
keep
10
it.
billion usually and above is large cap.
So 6 billion is my limit. So
Okay.
that's what I said. But yes, between 2 and 6 is low cap, mid cap, and 6 and above is large cap.
Right, okay. You get a different scale, but
Yes.
that's okay.
So you can use that again to change your trades, the number of trades, and you can see the win ratio actually changes, and the average US dollar profit per trade. So everything will impact in one way or other. So now let's go back to settings and see if you guys have further questions. Okay, yes, there were questions about all this stuff. What is this? So you were asking that what is all this? Subscribe to XYZ milestone. So these are names of all the strategies. Okay, milestone plus. If you see it on the top, it's all these names. So these names, these 10 names here, will match this stuff here. So milestone plus, swing boost, milestone boost. It will exactly match all this information here. All these elements.
But right now there's no description.
There is no description which
You want us to select yes or no.
Right.
So
So
for us to use OV boost, we as a user should select yes or no, or we can't use it.
Yeah.
So you select yes and no, and then there is, what does that do is, there is this last page that we have not talked about here. It's called custom strategy. Right now we're at the custom. And what custom strategy does it, whatever is your selection, it creates a page which is customized to your selection of multiple strategies. So it gives you one page. You don't have to look at 9 pages. For example, if you want all 9, okay. You are an active trader, you do trading 2 hours a day, you have time to do it. Sure. Go right ahead, use all of them, add that, and that just gives you all the information in one page, which is the custom strategy page, this guy. So if I click it here, right now, let me go back to settings. So you will see yes only on 2 places, milestone boost and Vega Contra. And all the trades from these 2 strategies will be on this page, the custom strategy page, the page that I click, this one.
You can go individually or see everything in one place.
Yes, so you can choose to see everything in one place, and of course that's why our number of trades increase, because you have two strategies in one page now. And then what it allows you to do is see how the drawdown impact and what's the risk of those combinations.
Is there a way to see the percent of the wins? You have 72 here, right? Just like you have other options, stuff, is there one, I want to get off everything if somebody, all of them that have more than 90% wins. Is there a way to do that?
Oh, you only want stuff which is more than 90%.
Yeah.
Yes, so the way to do it is, there is no reverse setting right now, but
How can I tweak this to get only 90%?
So you can go,
The lowest.
Yeah, the lowest. That's your play. Because if I know that, I'll be an oracle. I don't know that. But, so you reduce your profit target to 25%.
Then more trades will have more wins
Then more trades will succeed. Okay?
If the less money I'm willing to take, okay.
Yes, so this is, I changed it to 25%. Okay.
So more.
So you see your win ratio went up to about 80.
Okay, got it.
Okay, but you didn't make as much money.
Right.
Nearly as much.
Per trade.
There's always
Per
a
trade.
trade-off.
That's the trade-off.
And what, is that what Mo was addressing about there's no place we can go to read like what that strategy is? Okay.
Yes, yes. So he's
I
addressing.
guess like certain may give away like Vega, we think that's probably a time of, volatility.
Yes, so we got, yeah, so
Some of them we can make
some of them are momentum, some of them are,
Okay.
Yeah, some
you know, but
assumptions.
clearly there is, I think we need to clarify that.
Okay.
Sure. But right now the way to choose, okay, is that, and I'll talk about that, but you go through each one of them and try to find the right balance for you,
Like metric.
number of trades and average US dollar profit per trade. That's how you find the right balance.
Do you have one date range up there on all those, I think, if I understood what I was saying. Do you have a way of running this over different date ranges?
Not yet, but yeah, I could do that. I think the information
Like the last 6
exists
months,
because
last 1 year?
I think the information does exist in some way. You can derive it. So, for example, if you say 1st July 2017, so that's the profit graph. So then you start here, and that was one reason I didn't want to put portfolio in.
Well, if you just wanted to do a back test to see if this worked 5 years ago with the market conditions.
Oh, you mean even beyond that?
Yeah.
Okay, even beyond. Yes, absolutely. So I intend to put it here at some point when I get some time. Success history page.
Which one?
This one.
It's not there yet.
It's not.
It's not
It's
there.
there for two strategies. Only swing plus and milestone plus, but not for all 8, all 9, 10. But if you click this guy, for example, this has information. I have clicked milestone plus. This is a really badly built page, so I need to fix that. But this has information for all the trades that the strategy did on backtest since 2002. This particular strategy, and these were all the trades. You can see there are a bunch of trades there.
These were real trades at one point?
No, this were backtest. This is backtest. The only real trades that you see is what you see in the other page. These guys. So these are all real trades. But then, when you make those real trades, they are based on some algorithms that are making the decisions for which trade to make and how to make that. You use the same algorithm to backtest over last 15, 16 years of data and see how that worked. So that is this page. These two. So you will have that for everything.
So say that somebody signs up, right, and then they start Monday, right? Is there a way to track the progress? Do you have to track it on your own, the profits starting Monday going forward? Or does the custom page do it for you?
Right now, it's doing it. You're doing it on your own.
Yeah,
I have to find some time to make customize it. So it's coming. I think you also talked about that a little bit a while ago. Okay, so I think I have touched all the important pieces. I'm sure this is a little bit complex. So there are things which you guys will have questions about, which is fine. Yes, very important. Okay, I think this has been a key thing. So once you sign up, by default you are subscribed to a SMS, which is really pesky. I have to change that, but I've forgotten where that code was. So I have not found time to change that default yes. So if you sign up, you get a SMS every night, like 10 o'clock, that these are the trades you have to make tomorrow. If you don't want that, some people still find it useful, just change this to no. Okay, this last setting on the page, just change it to no, update your subscription, you're done. So you won't receive the SMS and change it back to yours.
Will it email you at the same time?
I'm sorry?
just
Will it
SMS.
email you the same?
No, it's just SMSs and nothing else.
Okay.
So right now it's a very basic UI. So if you really have to come to the web page to make your trades.
Hey Ash, I think also the question earlier over here, I think for some people, I think you need to go back to the table mode setting.
Oh yeah,
Right?
sure.
On your page it's going horizontal versus vertically, so I think that's where you probably
The next to the last, view ideas and table
view
mode.
ideas in table mode.
Yeah, this is okay. So that's one reason why it doesn't look the same. So if you just change that, if you're viewing in mobile, table mode works better. If you do that, then if you're not viewing in table mode, then this is what it does. Oh, this is the wrong page. This is the wrong page. So you go here. So
Now,
then,
you're looking for subscribers, right? To
I'm
test the system?
yes, I'm looking for subscribers.
So this group, members of our group, could subscribe and try it out. And then are you able to see our data so you can see how it's doing?
So when
Yes.
we make a real trade, we come back here and input that we did it to get
No,
your
so
data.
it's
How do
actually
you know we did it?
it's very basic. Okay, so it's
So
very
we-
simple.
We should probably send an email to everybody and let them know how to set it up.
Yes.
So question 2, is there any online help or do you need documentation?
Online help for
Documentation, you know,
For using-
typically here's how you would set it up, this does this does that.
okay, yes.
That kind of thing.
So there is online help, and we should send that email as well. It's in the tutorial section of the web page.
Okay, there is a tutorial.
There is a tutorial, and that tutorial is right here. Once it moves up, starts to move around. Go. So if you go here in the learning section, you go hit tutorials.
Okay.
Okay, and those tutorials are very short videos. There are about 10 or 12 of them. And you just watch those 5-minute long videos, and hopefully you have a good start point. Also, here is your call to action, I think, if you want to subscribe, because what I have seen is people who are most successful have followed this process. So there is a document, the document that you're talking about. So you read that FAQ document. And since I didn't want to overload your phones with another chat app, I decided to use WhatsApp. Most of us here know what WhatsApp is. If you don't know what is WhatsApp, then please download it on your iOS or Android device. It's owned by Facebook. It's free. It totally spies on you. Okay, there is no doubt about that. That's the only reason it could be free. But it lets you something great in return, which is free messaging and encrypted messaging, which nobody else can read. But it spies on you. Government agencies don't. Sorry.
I did sign up on Friday, but I didn't get that
He said
text
spies on you.
on that date for the September 20th.
What is the group name for what?
Oh, you didn't? I'll see about that. I know there are some bugs there.
Is there a group name for the?
So once you sign up on the web page, I add you to the group. Just to control the process of people getting added to the group, I just add you to the group once I see your phone number and signed up on the web page.
Oh,
So I'll sign you up on the web
Where's
page.
the FAQ document?
I'll send you. It's on the web page, but yeah, I'll send you.
So we'll get saying that we're added to a certain group and then we go.
Yes, and the way we use this is basically there are about 15 people. Some people in the room are on that group. And then it makes sense because some people are making more money than others using exactly the same information, which is interesting, right? You know, how are they thinking different than others given the same amount of data? And then when big drops happen, how do people handle those and stuff like that? So it's definitely more helpful to follow these.
You have a separate meetup for the property?
So I just do a meetup, I just do a Google Hangout for 15 minutes, 6:30 p.m. every Friday. The reason for that is there are people who are a little bit confused about how to use the process. It's a little bit new. We don't discuss very deep stuff. We discuss stuff like what happened to the trades for last week, and some other tactical questions. So this is your call to action. Do that, and we will add you to the WhatsApp group. The other thing is, I think there is one.
How do we add you? Just under Profit Monk on WhatsApp?
No, you sign up on the website profitmonk.com, and then I will add you to the group. Okay, very simple process. The FAQ document is also embedded in the PPT, so you can get it from here. It's on slide number 1,200,000.
Gotcha.
All done with AI.
In every one of your 9 selections, there's a different subroutine that you have programmed in, and they are all different, yes?
Yes.
And so you're using your head work to determine the subroutines and how they select the respective options.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. So this is
important.
This is like 9 different AI engines.
Yes.
Okay, every subroutine is different. I think this is.
Yeah.
So let me ask one last thing. It's very, very important to go to those charts that you have, the profit chart, and look at the slope of the lines
Yes.
to see where you are benefiting.
Yes.
And not to blow the bubble or anything like that, but you've done this for 2 years, and you can see in 17 it was great.
Right.
In 18,
It's not. It's not that great. It's not that great. In fact, some strategies are better than others. But great point. Okay, because if we go here and let's pick this one. This is my favorite beating horse. Never works well. Okay. So look here. Here is the one which had drawdown. Finally. So see here. So it went. So this is swing plus. So 65K went down to 43K in 3 months flat. Okay, market went down by 7-8%, but that's
Like everybody's account.
So you
Like-
down market.
so this strategy is definitely not one for the faint-hearted, right? Because if you are lucky and you have beginner's luck, you enter here and you are here, you will be very happy. You will be very sad, and probably you are moderately happy now.
Making up, though.
Yeah, it makes sense. But the drawdown is always a decision, right? Because if you need liquidity.
call you when you do the drawdowns?
You'll probably see it on the WhatsApp.
Yeah, you will see that on the WhatsApp. Actually, yeah, you are seeing those messages, right?
And you'll cancel that Friday meeting.
Oh my God! I need a heart surgery or something on this Friday. But okay. But then there are others. So for example, this guy, I like this one because this doesn't have so much drawdowns, and this is strategy. So again, so this one, this is which one is that? This is OV boost. So from last year, it went from 0 to about 89K for whatever setting we have. Then it was sitting idle, doing nothing, and you were making trades, by the way. So you were making money, losing money, making money, losing money, but actually overall nothing was happening. Unless you do, right, that's the market. Unless you do that though, you will never catch this, right? Because I don't know. Nobody knows when this is going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to remain in the market to win.
Exactly.
You keep saying that, right? You can't just wait and decide suddenly that.
6 months later.
Yeah. So it will, and so this one didn't have such a bad drawdown.
well, wait a minute. Let me throw something out here. I mean, you can look at, Russ, please come back at me. You can look at the S&P 500, or you can look at the NASDAQ, or something like that, and you can start looking at some charts of these indexes, and what are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
Or or flat.
But mostly,
Oh, wait a minute.
over a long period of time, they've always been up. That's why buying calls is not really a bad idea, because the market is going to go up, and you buy calls on the right thing.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, look at the slopes. look at the slopes.
Sure.
And the
sure.
change in the slopes.
Well, we've all had bad months. We've all had them. But
Yeah.
we also have really good quarters.
True.
I'll take a bad month to a good quarter any day.
You can always have 100% of the win.
I would think that some of these would vary. You've really focused on a current time frame again and indicated you have some back. But I would think some of these might rotate so that during this time frame we're looking now, this might be good, and maybe that swing when we were looking at a minute ago might be good at some future time.
Good question. I don't know how to answer that because it's hypothetical. May happen, may not happen. But generally, momentum strategies will work okay. I mean, because these are, again, it comes back to I have to kind of specify which strategy is doing what, which is momentum, which is volatility, which is this and that. Because AI is using some data. And there will be groups of strategies which will move together. Always. Depending upon how the market
back testing indicates that that's one of the most important things that you need to do.
Yes, and there is some backtest here, but yeah, you are right. Longer backtest helps, and the key is this. I've done infinite amount of testing. You can see that, right?
Yes.
It's infinite amount of machine time. Even now, when I'm going to make a trade, I'm still very skeptical of whether I'm making the right decision. So now how I fight personally with that is I make my decision making insignificant in terms of impact on the risk that I'm taking. So every decision that I'm making, none of those decisions are going to make me bust, even as a collective. Right? There was this, okay, so how much time do we have?
0.
Okay, so then
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, so that's enough time for a story. Okay, so that's what I was trying to decide whether to go for a story or not. So here it is. There was a test done, and it's a very famous test. You can search for it on the web, where people were called in to a room, and there was a jar filled of pennies. Okay, so you walk into the room, and you are asked to assess or guess how many pennies are in there. Okay, and 1,000 people were called. It's a very famous experiment. People were wildly wrong, but when you draw that chart and do just the plain vanilla average of that, people were right to within 5% of error. The point being that every single decision you could go wildly wrong. That's the nature of the beast. I don't know whether this trade or that trade is going to work. But on an average, does it work or not? That's the question.
I would submit to you that the market is not stationary, and what you say is true over short periods of time and not long periods of time.
Absolutely.
If you don't pay attention to that, you're going to get burned. It's like
Sure.
in 2008.
Yes. So 2008, and that's where I think we need data on 2008 for all strategies. You should have a look at the 2 strategies for which we have data. The other ones we'll put there.
I've got a question. I'm sort of, without giving away whatever's proprietary about this, sort of interested in what's going on inside the black box. In each of your strategies, I take it that you've come up with some indicators or
Yes.
chart reader or something like that that does.
We never found time to go in there. I think
that
we
does
probably should. I'm okay. There is nothing to really hide because it's just math.
Right, and so I take it what it's doing is it's assessing what's going on with those indicators, but that at some point it's also, adjusting the parameters of those indicators as it learns?
Yes, it is learning every
To
day.
be effective
Yes.
and what isn't?
It is learning and relearning every day, except for the 100% the profit thing. It's learning and relearning every day based on the input data, not on the results
Okay.
at this point, because that makes it very
Not to
complicated.
help you write your software, but, I mean, is there some sort of an AI approach that you take that optimizes, says, okay, based on these market conditions, these indicators, this is the best strategy to use?
Yes, and we have that discussion every day on the WhatsApp group. So it goes back to what you were saying, that in some market conditions, some strategies work better than others. Yes, so it does happen. And we are learning that.
By and large, using the standard kinds of indicators that
We are using standard kind of indicators as well, is what I would say. So
Like
sure,
what? Just
the usual stuff. the usual
Some averages.
Yeah, all that. I mean, everything that you can think of is being used. Yeah, it's everything that you can think of in terms of math and algebra is being used. But there is other stuff coming in. So it's not just that. I mean, one of those things was Glassdoor stuff. Yes, yes, sir.
This is, kind of goes along with Mark's questions, what we were talking about. You said you were using like 5,000 data points, and you were looking at, say for instance, what did the market and Apple look like just before it shot up?
Yes, yes. So what Ron is trying to describe is just one step deeper into what happens. So every stock is identified not just by its price, volume, SMA and all that stuff, but let's say 50 different parameters over last 100 days. So if you ask me, Ash, how do you define Apple today? I will not say it is at $220, it is accumulated and estimates above estimate. I'll give you 5,000 numbers. So that to the AI is the definition of Apple, or for that matter any other stock.
5,000 inputs.
5,000 inputs on one day. Yes, every day it's identified by 5,000 inputs. What are those 5,000 inputs? 50 to 60 parameters, which includes the technicals but other stuff that I think we'll go deeper into that maybe in some other meeting. And then a time series of that over last 100 to 115 days. So you can already start to imagine a big matrix of data. And then you take that big matrix of data and feed that to AI. And what the AI is trying to do is, okay, your matrix is looking like this, which is like 5,000 dimensional data. We see the world in 3 dimensions. So
Are you using your computers or TI's computers to check it out?
Amazon. That's where I have to pay so much money. Amazon is charging me like about $1,000 a month now. It's
Really?
Yes, it's totally crazy. Because of all the compute that I'm running every day.
Every
1,000 a month?
Every
Yes.
time you click on something, it's doing some
Right.
computation.
So Amazon charges me that much, and then I have to pay for getting the data.
Plus it runs 24 hours, right?
It runs in the evening between 6 and 10.
Maybe you ought to get some advertisers.
Yeah.
Probably not yet.
So you were talking.
Not yet. So right now I'm putting in 25K. That's my expense for last year, 1 year to make this run. But my trades are working okay, so it makes up for that. So I'm not losing money. I'm making a little bit.
There's no fundamental information put in this, is there?
Not yet. Not yet. Oh, you mean on the web page or to the AI? Oh, AI knows all that.
Excuse me?
So artificial intelligence engine gets all the fundamental information.
No, I'm talking about earnings, growth.
Yes, so it gets the EPS.
Well, you never said that.
Okay, so that's where the other 50 parameters
So you
comes
know the
from.
right places to put in all the information.
Yes, but that data is free to get. So it's all those data points, because those data points are not 100 dimensional, right? Because those things don't change so often.
I realize that, but
So, I've done a lot of work in signal processing and stuff like this. And there's a big problem that a lot of the invested, including academic people, of overfitting. In other words, when you have too many parameters,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get garbage out.
I'm with you on that. Yes.
Okay, and so you have to, when you get into a certain time frame, a certain portfolio, or whatever you're investing in, you have to cut it down to something that works for that. And your AI, are you saying that your AI does that for you?
Yes, actually you'll be surprised how much research has gone into that particular problem in the last 4 years. Because what people have done is, so what's the best way to do it? You basically create noise on your data intentionally.
see what happens.
You create noise on your data intentionally. So for one fine day, I'll just have a random number and I'll muck around with all those numbers. Okay. It'll be totally, like price will be off the rack, SMA will be somewhere here. So it's all noisy, right? And can your AI use that and then identify that, oops, this was noise? Or you drop data. It's called dropout neural network layers. So you randomly drop things out. You don't get any data. For a week it's gone from your AI engine. So, but still, I think the problem exists. Challenges come and technology catches up and new challenges come. So yes, I'm with you on that.
So you validate the data you're using.
Yes, and that's why I pay more money, because I have to buy them from 2 sources, just to compare. So I have to buy them from Opera and I have to buy them from their web page. I don't know if you guys heard of Quandl. So they also sell data. So I buy from two sources and then compare.
Oprah's expensive too.
Yes, it's expensive.
I read a book recently by somebody on AI. And the book had in it, the guy gave a percentage of time that people, not just in investing, but they spend 40 or 50%, supposedly the guys that do AI professionally, according to this book, in massaging the data and getting ready to be used, as opposed to the algorithms and what you do in the end.
Yeah. You're right, and data mining and data cleaning, it's called data cleaning, is one key problem. And I do that. You shouldn't do it too much because then you go into an overfitting problem. If your data is totally clean and nice and pristine, okay, that was the word I was looking for. It's totally pristine, I think the AI will learn the wrong thing.
So stock volume is part of sublooking?
Yes, so volume, price, all
Change in volume.
averages, deltas, momentums, what else? Oscillators, relative strength, everything that you see on IBD, all that stuff.
But do you also pick up earnings
Yes.
or gross earnings?
Yes.
And then do something with that?
Yes. Well, I don't do this, but AI does it. Yes. But I feed it to, that's an input to the AI engine. So based on that, that's another filter for the AI.
What?
It's another filter for the AI to make its decision.
Thank you.
Do you look at anything like the Twitter chat rooms to pick out stocks and so forth?
Not yet.
The number of time that stock appears and like...
Could be done. It's called sentiment analysis.
Yeah.
Positive, negative. Could be done. I haven't done it yet. Okay.
Thank you. Very interesting. So, everybody understands you can go to profitmonk.com, right?
Yes, sir.
You can sign up as a subscriber and play with us. Try it out.